what I was talking, that is have a look of this book over here. Okay, it has started with part 1. Part 1. This novella is written in 3 parts. Okay, it's a novella, so hopefully we will be finishing within very short time. Okay. As I have said, that the Heart of Darkness begins on board of Nelly. Nelly is the name of a steamboat that was marooned on the Thames River. That is through London city. There is a river that is Thames. You have heard the name of. So at that Thames River, that steamboat is waiting, and in that boat there are several members. What are the members? With him, the director of the companies, a lawyer, an accountant, and Marlowe, and the novel's protagonist. And the sun sets, and the 4 men became completive and brooding. Eventually, Marlowe breaks the spell of silence by beginning his tale about his voyage to the Congo. So these 5 men has been writing. Among the 5 men, one is the narrator, Marlowe. Another man who is speaking this word, his name we don't know, and other 3 men. Why they are waiting? They are waiting when they are supposed to start their journey. At the meantime, one character, Marlowe, he said that yes, I can tell you one of my stories that I did for Congo. Okay, what's the story? The other men remain silent while Marlowe collects his ideas, after which he begins his story proper. The remainder of the novels becomes the narrator report of the Marlowe, tells him and the others on board Nelly, and Conrad's novel is thus a frame story. That means a story within a story. So 5 men had been waiting in a steamboat, one of them unknown narrator, and among the 5 men, one man started telling a story. So it is a story, that is Heart of Darkness, it is a story, but within the story, another story is told by another narrator, Marlowe. As a boy, Marlowe was fascinated by the maps and yearned to become a seaman explorer who could visit the most remote parts of this earth. I have described this issue. That means at the time when colonialism started, the people, European people, Portuguese, Dutch, UK, and other countries, they had the fascination to explore the unexplored part. So our character, that means the Marlowe said that from my boyhood, I had an intention that I will be going to sea journey. That is his fascination. He will be an explorer. As a young man, Marlowe spent approximately 6 years sailing to the Pacific before returning to London, where he then saw in a shop window a map of Africa and the Congo River. Okay. Have you seen? When school window, shop window, that means the shop window, naturally the circulation, আমরা বিভিন্ন জায়গায় দেখি না যে বাসা ভাড়া হবে এরকম বিভিন্ন স্থানগুলো, সেরকম একটা শপের উইন্ডোতে কোন ম্যাপটা সে দেখলো? This map. Okay, the map of Congo. Over here, that is the Congo Republic. So Congo is a country that is in Africa continent. And look here, this is the Congo. And these are the rivers. These are the rivers. So the rivers inside the Congo, they are passing just like snake. Okay. So this map, the map of Congo and the Congo River, attracted our writer, or not writer, the narrator Marlowe. He said that I was fascinated to see the map of Congo and Congo River, and at that time he was determined that yes, I have to go to a sea journey, but that should be done in Congo after getting this map. Recalling the news of Continental Trading Company, so then he thought that how? Okay, he thought that I will be going to Congo, but in which way I will be going to Congo? So Marlowe started searching, and he said that a Continental Trading company operating in Congo. Continental Trading Company. Marlowe became determined to pilot a steamboat to find adventure in Africa. Then he asked his aunt, who knew the wife of a company official, to assist him in getting a job as a pilot. The happily complied. Okay, so Marlowe had been thinking how he can be there. Then he got the information that one of his aunts, he had a recognition, or he had a relation with a company man who are doing business in Congo. একজন আন্ট, ফুপু, চাচি, খালা যেটাই হতে পারে, তার সম্পর্ক আছে যেই কোম্পানিটা হচ্ছে কঙ্গোতে চাকরি করে তাদের অফিসারের সাথে তার পরিচয় আছে। তখন সে কি করলো? হি ইমিডিয়েটলি ওয়েন্ট টু হিজ আন্ট, তার আন্টের সাথে হচ্ছে যোগাযোগ করলো যে কিভাবে সে সেখানে যেতে পারে। Marlowe hurried across the English Channel to sign his contract to the company's headquarters in Brussels. We have heard that means Leopold II was the king of Belgium, Brussels. Okay, so the company, they had been operating their activities in Congo. They are the Belgian company, and their headquarters in its Brussels. Okay, so you have seen that is the United Kingdom. So, and this is English Channel. Bangladesh is English Channel. Okay, so and over there, so he from UK he started and he went to Belgium, because in Belgium the company's headquarters is there. Okay, so he went over there to have job in their company. Passing through an office with two women who are knitting, Marlowe spoke with the company's director for less than a minute. After being dismissed, he was asked to sign a number of papers in which he promised not to divulge any trade secret. Okay. So he went over there, he had to sign some papers, and one of the issues that he will not be, well, one simple symbols is there, that is the women, two women are knitting, okay, and what they are knitting, their dress was black, but the building was white in color, as white as snow. Okay, so the white color of the building indicates something symbolically. And the women, they had been knitting their clothes. They are dressed in black. Black is very much synonymous to darkness. Okay, so opposite to darkness we have another color, that is white. So darkness and lightness, black and white, that is an important symbol that is used in this novella. So he signed the paper, and Marlowe finally reached the mouth of the Congo. Okay, so who is telling the story? Marlowe is telling the story. Finding passage on a little bound steamer to take him where the steamboat awaited him, Marlowe spoke with the Swedish captain about the company and the efforts of the jungle on Europeans. Sweden then told Marlowe a short yet ominous story about the man he took upriver who hanged himself on the road. Okay, so Marlowe, at the time of going towards Congo, he had been talking with a Swedish pilot who was going on. So what is the situation in Congo? So that man said that yes, I have heard one story. So one day, a white man was going towards the Congo, but he hanged himself. That means he committed suicide. Marlowe বলল যে একটা মানুষ এরকম আপনার মতোই কঙ্গোতে এক্সপ্লোর করতে যাচ্ছিল, সে যাত্রার মধ্যে সুইসাইড করল। Marlowe was why? Then shocked Marlowe asked why? Not to be told, perhaps the sun. The captain, he said that most probably the sun or the country were too much for him. Okay, these are the ambiguity in Heart of Darkness, written by Joseph Conrad. Why that white man committed suicide? Okay, for what? That means most probably he couldn't. First thing is that he couldn't tolerate the temperature of Congo. That is the literal meaning. যে ওই দেশের সান মানে তাপমাত্রা এত বেশি এটা সে সহ্য করতে পারে নাই বিধায় সে হচ্ছে সুইসাইড করেছে, এটা বলছে। বাট অ্যাকচুয়ালি দেয়ার ইজ অ্যানাদার, এন্ড হোয়াট ইজ দ্য অ্যানাদার থিং, হোয়াট ইজ দ্য অ্যানাদার কজ? কেউ এত গরমের কারণে তো আর যাই হোক কি করবে না। So that is the thing the researcher will be explored. Okay, so that is the information Marlowe got from the Swedish pilot. That means something ominous. Ominous, you know, আশঙ্কাজনক, যে বাইরে adventure. What is the definition of adventure and what is the definition of journey? Adventure হলো যখন আপনি খাগড়াছড়িতে মাটির নিচ দিয়ে যাবেন, কারণ মাটির নিচ দিয়ে গুহার মধ্যে কি আছে আপনি জানেন না। There is a suspense, there is a ominous sign might be there. Okay, that is adventure is full of ominous signs. কি হবে আমরা জানি না। আর আপনি ঢাকা থেকে চিটাগাং যাচ্ছেন বাসে, আপনি জানেন ওখানে যে আপনি নামবেন, there is no risk, there is no ominous sign over there. So it is an adventure, and that is the first ominous sign Marlowe got from the Swedish pilot, that one white man, he committed suicide. He was supposed to go to Congo. That means Marlowe was afraid what is going to be happen in his own life. Eventually, there is the company's outer station. Outer station, I have said that there are 3 stations. Outer station, central station, and inner station. In the inner station, actually our protagonist, that is Conrad, lives. Okay, so inner station, which amounted to 3 wooden buildings on the site of a rocky slope. And that is the outer station, that is the picture. Okay, so there is not exactly like that, it was collected from Google. Okay, so this is the wooden building. In the outer station we have seen wooden building, they are adjacent to the Congo river. This is the building, and there is the company's office, and this office is called outer station. And in the outer station, out of the station was shipped the company's most important and lucrative commodity, ivory. And in the outer station, apart from the boundary of the company's outer station, there are lots of ivory. That is the target of the European colonial power. They went over there just to do business. Just to do business, what type of business? Business of collecting ivory, a precious thing at that time that is used in European countries as ornament. Okay, so that is full of ivory that was surrounded, and rubber as well. Okay, Marlowe spent the next 10 days waiting for the caravan to conduct into the central station. So Marlowe then, he is supposed to go from the outer station to the next station. What is the next station? Central station. He had to stay 10 days in outer station. So this is the technique of plot. Okay, plot, what did I say? Plot is the artistic arrangement of a story. That story can be told in different ways, but the novelist, or they will tell with the help of their artistic genius. নোভেলিস্টরা গল্প যেভাবে বলবে তাদের আর্টিস্টিক জিনিয়াসের মধ্যে, এই জন্যই আমরাও গল্প বলতে পারি। সবাই আমরা 10টা 20টা অনেক গল্প জানি, আমরা যেভাবে গল্প বলবো সেই গল্পটা নোভেলিস্টদের মতো হবে না। নোভেলিস্টরা তাদের আর্টিস্টিক জিনিয়াস মিক্সচার করে সেই গল্পটা বলবে, সেটা হবে কি প্লট। ওকে, সো ইন দ্যাট কেস Marlowe had to stay 10 days in the outer station before going to the central station. Why? At that outer station, he had a talk with the accountant. The accountant of which company? In that company, cards had been working. Okay, so accountant is the chief, one of the important personalities in that company. On some days, Marlowe would sit in his office trying to avoid the giant stabbing stabbing flies, মাছি। ওকে, সো সেখানের যে মাছি, আফ্রিকার জঙ্গলে যে অনেকগুলো ধরনের মাছি থাকে, সেখানে সে তাদের কামড়ে অনেক অসুখ হতে পারে। সো হি had been waiting with that. So in that outer station he had to stay for 10 days, and within the 10 days we have got acquaintance that he had a talking with the accountant. And another thing, that outer station is full of flies. Flies means stabbing flies. এখন বাংলাদেশে মশার কামড়ে যে ডেঙ্গু হচ্ছে, সেই সময় আফ্রিকান এখনও আফ্রিকান যে বিভিন্ন জায়গায় অনেক ধরনের যে অ্যানিম্যাল, আফ্রিকান এলিফ্যান্ট বিখ্যাত, হ্যাঁ, যার হাতের দাঁত তারা সংগ্রহ করছে। তারপরে সেখানকার বিভিন্ন স্পাইডার যাদের কামড়ে মারা যায় মানুষ। ওকে, এই যে ফ্লাইসের কথা এখানে উল্লেখ করেছে, দ্যাট মিনস দ্যাট Congo country and the Congo forest, they are full of such kind of venomous flies and venomous insects that can kill a human being. That means if such kind of flies nowhere in European countries, because they think that they are the earliest of the civilization, so they এই জন্যই কঙ্গোকে বলা হচ্ছে that is the heart of darkness. So that continent is full of like flies, সেখানে মাছি আছে, যে বিভিন্ন ধরনের ইনসেক্ট আছে যেগুলো কামড়ে মানুষ মারা যেতে পারে। সো হি হ্যাড টু স্টে ওভার দেয়ার। When a stretcher with a sick European was put in the office temporarily, the accountant being annoyed with his groans. Okay. Actually, I have said that this is an adventure from both sides, especially the white man. They went over there to rule the country. Okay, and they are collecting ivory and many things for the sake of their company, but their life is in risk, and that we have seen. Why? যদি আপনার জীবনের এতই ভয় থাকে তাহলে কেন আপনি কঙ্গোতে গিয়েছেন? But they were afraid, and at the same time they had their greed of what? Greed to accumulate wealth. এজন্য জীবন দিয়েও এরকম একজন হোয়াইট ম্যান, সে অসুস্থ হয়ে গিয়েছে, তাকে স্ট্রেচারে করে অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টের কামরার কাছে নিয়ে আসা হলো। That means any time he may die. But the accountant was annoyed. Oh, what's the sound I am getting? This man is growing, you know, gongaচ্ছে. So say, I am getting distracted for this. Look here, one man is dying and he is groaning, and that sound of the groaning creating distress to our honorable accountant. Okay, so humanity is nowhere in that continent, and humanity from which this side? From the colonial side. So the imperial power, they become inhuman when a person will be overcome by greed and enviousness. Then humanity, sovereignty and brotherhood and other feelings will diminish. That happened in Congo. Okay, so one man is there, but accountant is greed. Okay, he said that he is dying, but he is getting me distracted from my activities. So there he also, noting Marlowe's ultimate destination in the interior region of the Congo, the accountant hinted the Marlowe would no doubt meet Mr. Koch. This is the first time our narrator, that is Marlowe, got the name of God. Accountant said that, yeah, you are going to the Union Station. Of course, you will be talking to Mr. Koch. Then Marlowe said, Koch is Carlo, a company agent in charge of an incredibly lucrative ivory post deep in the interior. Okay. So he is in charge. Who? Koch, the protagonist of this novella. So he lives in the central inner station, and he is working in a post where that is a field of collecting so many ivory. The accountant described Koch as a first-class agent, a remarkable person whose station brought in more ivory than all the other stations combined. Most probably you have read Metamorphosis. Okay, who is the hero? Gregor Samsa was an important person of their family, but whenever he stopped producing money, he became as insignificant as a cockroach. And what happened to Gregor Samsa when the cockroach was died? When the cockroach was died, the dead body, the cockroach, কিন্তু আসলে cockroach টা কে? Gregor Samsa. তার ডেড বডিটাকে কি করা হয়েছিল? সমাহিত করা হয়নি, কি করা হয়েছিল? উইথ দ্য হেল্প অফ দ্য ব্রুম, ঝাড়ু দিয়ে ঘরের বাইরে পরিষ্কার করা হয়েছিল। Actually, the modern artistic society will be considering human being as a machine. Machine will be producing power. In the same way, human being will be producing money, wealth. As long as you will be producing money for your family, for your dear and near ones, you are valuable. Cars is valuable person. Why? Because cars দেখতে খুব সুন্দর পায়। Because he is able to produce, he is able to collect so many ivory they want. What the European colonial power want? They want ivory. Okay, and cars could do so. And for this reason, cars was an important person, a first-class agent in their company. He asked Marlowe to tell cars that everything at the outer station was satisfactory, and then hinted that cars was being groomed for a high position in the company's administration. Actually, there is a relation, of course, of their accountant bolo, yes, of course, you will be informing to cars that everything going on the outer station is okay. Why? Accountant ভেবেছিল যে cars কোম্পানির একজন ভালো অফিসার হবে, যদি ভালো অফিসার হয় তাহলে অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টের কি হবে? প্রমোশন হবে। So he gave the information. So everybody was on the ladder of what? Ladder of collecting power, ladder of collecting money. So greed যেখানে ছিল, যখন আমরা বলবো in the heart of darkness all person, greed, human greed is one of the theme of this novella. So greed is only in cars. No, even the accountant, he was greedy to get our position in the company. For this reason, accountant said that yes, inform to the office that everything going of the outer station is okay. So it is there. The day after this conversation, Marlowe left outer station with a caravan of 60 men for 200 miles tramp means পাহাড়ি বন জঙ্গলের মধ্যে দিয়ে যে হাঁটা, সেটাকে বলা হয় ট্রাম্প। এবং তারা কোথায় যেতে হবে? এখন আউটার স্টেশন থেকে তারা যাবে সেন্ট্রাল স্টেশন। সেন্ট্রাল স্টেশন থেকে আউটার স্টেশন থেকে ডিস্টেন্স 200 কিলোমিটার। এই 200 কিলোমিটার 60 জন মানুষকে নিয়ে তারা হেঁটে ট্রাম করে কোথায় যেতে হবে? সেন্ট্রাল স্টেশনে। ওকে, দে ওয়ার নেটিভ পোর্টার্স। এই যে 60 ম্যান যারা আছে তারা কারা? তারা হচ্ছে কঙ্গোর নেটিভসরা, তারা হচ্ছে মূলত পোর্টার্স, যারা সবকিছু বহন করে। And Marlowe saw innumerable paths cut through the jungle, a number of abandoned villages along the way. What does the abandoned village mean? Okay, through the ways, Marlowe saw many paths and many villages as well. But that village was desolated. No person is living in that village. What does it indicate? It indicates that this place was no more a place because the man who had been living in those places, they are vacated for the atrocity of the so many paths, অনেকগুলো পাথ আছে, মানে এই পাথগুলোতে নেটিভসটা আগে অনেক যাতায়াত করতো। তার মানে এই এলাকাগুলো ছিল হচ্ছে নেটিভদের দ্বারা, কঙ্গো মানুষের দ্বারা বসবাস করার জন্য একটা জীবন্ত গ্রাম। এই গ্রামগুলো এখন মানুষ শূন্য কেন? ফর দ্য কজ অফ দ্য অ্যাট্রোসিটি ডান বাই দ্য কোম্পানি এন্ড দ্য কোম্পানিজ এজেন্ট। Okay, so abandoned place. Wait, and he saw a dark and white man. শুধুমাত্র যখন যারা যাচ্ছে একজন দেখলো যে একজন ডার্ক এন্ড হোয়াইট ম্যান, এর মধ্যে একজন হোয়াইট ম্যান আছে, who claimed to be looking after the unkept of the road and the body of a native who was shot in the leg. The white man said he is dark. Actually, everybody can't fulfill his dream. So the European, not only the company agents, some white men also went there for their luck. Okay, isn't it? এরকমই একজন সাদা মানুষ, সে হচ্ছে এখানে মদ্যপ, সেও কোম্পানির হয়ে কাজ করতে গিয়েছিল হয়তো বা, অথবা কোম্পানিতে যাক, সে এখন মধ্যপ্রদেশ, সে বললো যে আসলে আমি একটা মৃত্যু বডি পাহারা দিচ্ছি একটা নেটিভ। হয় হি ওয়াজ শুড, এই নেটিভ বডিটা মারা গেছে কিভাবে, তার মাথায় কি করা হয়েছে, গুলি করা হয়েছে। দ্যাট অ্যানাদার সাইন অফ অ্যাট্রোসিটি, দ্যাট ইজ আ নেটিভ, হোয়াট ইজ দ্য, এক্সকিউজ মি, হোয়াট ইজ দ্য রিজন অফ শুটিং, we don't know, but it was reported by the white man that the one native was killed shooting directly at his head, and I am guarding the dead body of that native. Okay, so that is the information, that these are the atrocities we are getting acquainted with in this area. Marlowe's one white companion was an overweight and man who kept and fainting due to the heat. Okay, এই মাল্লোর সাথে যারা যাচ্ছিল, একজন সাদা মানুষ, সে অনেক বাল্কি, মোটা, সে কি হয়ে গেছে, সে অজ্ঞান হয়ে গেছে আর হাঁটতে পারছে না, কারণ কত, 200 কিলোমিটার। ইভেনচুয়ালি হি হ্যাড টু বি ক্যারিড ইন আ হ্যামাক, ওকে, বিছানা সদৃশ্য চট, তাকে দোলায় নিয়ে যাওয়ার জন্য। অ্যান্ড হোয়েন দ্য হ্যামাক স্কিনড হিজ নোজ অ্যান্ড ওয়াজ ড্রপড বাই দ্য নেটিভস, সো এই দ্য হোয়াইট ম্যান ওয়াজ বাল্কি, সো হি ওয়াজ ক্যারিড উইথ দ্য হেল্প অফ আ হ্যামাক, একটা চাদরের মতো, চার কর্নারে চারজন নেটিভস মানে কঙ্গো মানুষ বসে ধরে ওকে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে স্ট্রেচারের মতো করে দোলান। এবং হ্যামারটা তো হচ্ছে অনেক পুরনো, ওর গন্ধ আসছে, এই গন্ধ পেয়ে নেটিভটা ওকে ওই হ্যামার সহ মারতে ফেলেছে, সাদা মানুষটাকে, ওইটা তো চাটতে পারছে না। তখন হোয়াইট ম্যান ওয়াজ ভেরি অ্যাংরি, he said that he demanded that Marlowe would do something to punish them, so the white man was angry. So white man's pardon, that means the white man is also protected by the natives, and সেই নেটিভটা কি করছে, এই মানুষটা মোটা, হাঁটতে পারছে না, তাকে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে, উল্টো সেই হোয়াইট ম্যানটাই কি বলছে যে তাদেরকে পানিশ, হয়তো পড়ে গেছে intentionally or unintentionally. Okay, so that is the situation. Marlowe did nothing except press onwards until reached the central station, where an excitable chap informed that his steamboat was at the bottom of the river, and 2 days earlier the bottom of the boat had been torn off when some volunteer skipper piloted it over to have it ready for Marlowe's arrival. Actually, at the time one reported that Marlowe যে স্টিমবোটটাতে করে গিয়েছিল সেটা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে, ওকে, এবং সেটা রিপেয়ার হয়েছে এবং সেটা আসতেছে টাকা নেওয়ার জন্য। Okay, there is another indication over there. What happened to Marlowe's steamboat? Actually, it was next time informed by another critic or another researcher, that is actually Karch managed to break Marlowe's steamboat. Why? Karch didn't want to live in a station. সে মারা যাচ্ছে, তারপরেও সে সেখান থেকে যেতে চায় না। Why? He has got the taste of power. He has got, his dream has been fulfilled. That means he is the demigod in this area. Okay, so that was get ready. Marlowe was therefore forced to spend time at the central station. So in that central station he had to stay for some days, and as he did with the outer station, he relates to his audience on the Nelly his impression to the palace. Okay, এখন এই 5 জন মার্লো গল্প বলছে, 5 জন কোথায় আছে, এখনো কোথায় বসে আছে, এই নেলিতেই বসে আছে। এজন্য এখানে ন্যারেটর একটু হিন্টস দিল, ওকে, যে অ্যাকচুয়ালি তারা এখনো নেলিতেই বসে আছে এবং সেই গল্পটা বলেই যাচ্ছে। কে বলছে? মার্লো। Marlowe met a brickmaker, although Marlowe didn't see any brick anywhere, who pressed him for informing about the company's activities in Europe. When Marlowe confessed to knowing nothing about the secret intrigues of the company, but the brickmaker assumed he was lying and became annoyed. So brickmaker, সেখানে একজন brickmaker আছে, so brickmaker he didn't make any brick yet, and that is another indication they were trying to make brick. ইট তৈরি করতে চাই। ইট কেন তৈরি করতে চাই? আমাদের কোম্পানির স্টেশনটা ছিল উডেন, সো তাদের একটা হোপ ছিল যে এখানে যদি আমরা বিল্ডিং করতে পারি তাহলে সেখানে নেটিভরা সেফলি থাকতে পারবে। ওকে, দ্যাট ইজ দেয়ার ইন্ডিকেশন। বাট এই ইন্ডিকেশনের মধ্য দিয়ে তারা কি করছে? দে হ্যাড বিন অ্যাকুমুলেটিং দেয়ার ওয়েলথ, দে আর নট ডুইং এনিথিং। বিল্ডিং বাড়িও তৈরি করছে না, ইটও তৈরি করছে না, বাট তার ইন্টেনশন এবং নেটিভদের কি বলছে যে ইয়েস আমরা তোমাদের এখানে ইট তৈরি করব এবং সেখানে শ্রমিকরা নেটিভরা এবং সেটা দিয়ে আমরা বিল্ডিং করব, রোড করব, যাতে তোমরা বনের মধ্যে ভালোভাবে চলতে পারো, যাতে তোমরা ভালোভাবে থাকতে পারো এই জন্তু জানোয়ার জঙ্গলের মধ্যে এদের আক্রমণ থেকে রক্ষা পাওয়ার জন্য। ইট ইজ দেয়ার ইন্টেনশন, ইট ইজ দেয়ার স্পিকিং, বাট অ্যাকচুয়ালি নো ব্রেক ইজ দেয়ার, কোনো ব্রেক এই পর্যন্ত তৈরি হয়নি। সো দ্যাট ইজ অলসো অ্যানাদার দ্য হিউম্যানিটেরিয়ান গ্রাউন্ড। সো এগেন দ্য ব্রিক মেকার, he was trying to convince Marlowe. Why? The brickmaker is also a greedy person. He also told something to Marlowe in order to get upper position in that company. So every person in this novella, they are full of greed. At this point, Marlowe breaks off his narrative, explaining to the man, the Nelly, that he finds it difficult to convey the dream-like quality of African experience. ওকে, এই পর্যন্ত গল্প বলার পরে এক পর্যায়ে সে বলছে যে ইয়াস অ্যাকচুয়ালি স্টিল আই থট দ্যাট সাচ কাইন্ড অফ ইনসিডেন্টস দ্যাট ওয়াজ আই থিঙ্ক দ্যাট ওয়াজ আ ড্রিম, বাট আই স ইট উইথ মাই ওন আইস, আই হ্যাড দ্য এক্সপিরিয়েন্স, দ্য ফার্স্ট হ্যাড এক্সপিরিয়েন্স, বাট দ্য এক্সপিরিয়েন্স ক্যানট বি কম্পেয়ার্ড উইথ আ ওয়াকিং লাইফ। মানুষের জীবন্ত লাইফে এরকম কিছু হতে পারে সেটা আমি বুঝতে পারি না। আসলে অ্যাকচুয়ালি সেটা মনে হচ্ছে যে সেটা হলো একটা স্বপ্নের মতো, যেটা হতে পারে। The man can kill so brutally or something else. Marlowe resumes his tale by continuing the description of the talk with the brickmaker, who complained to Marlowe that he could never find the necessary materials needed to make any bricks. Marlowe told how he needed rivets to repair his boat, and none arrived in any of the caravans. After the conversation, the brickmaker Marlowe told his mechanic that their rivets would be arriving shortly, and Marlowe assumed that because of the brickmaker was eager to please him, because he assumed Marlowe had important friends and he would get him necessary rivets. Okay, so again the brickmaker was trying to supply the rivet. Rivet হচ্ছে এক প্রকারের, যে নৌকাটা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে সেটা রিপেয়ার করার জন্য এক প্রকারের ধাতব পিন। ব্রিকমেকার বলে yes, I will manage the rivet for you. কেন? কারণ ব্রিকমেকারও চিন্তা করে যে যদি সে মার্লোকে হেল্প করতে পারে তাহলে কি হবে, তারও কর্মসংস্থান। Okay, so everyone in this novella, they were entangled with greed. মানুষ যখন মানুষের মধ্যে যখন এই লোভ বাসা বাঁধে তখন মানুষের মধ্যে ওই স্বাভাবিক গুণগুলো আর থাকে না। So everybody was trying in that situation to be the important official, and at the time, however, the rivet burst into the central station. Marlowe learned that this man called themselves the El Dorado Exploration Expedition. Okay, এরপরে হঠাৎ করে দেখলো যে একদল মানুষ, 5 জন মানুষ, সাদা মানুষ সেই সেন্ট্রাল স্টেশনে হুড়হুড় করে এসে ঢুকে গেল। Who are they? Actually, they are getting an expedition. Expedition of what? They are Marlowe's uncle was one of the leader of manager's uncle. Sorry, was one of the leader of the expedition, and Marlowe saw him, his nephew, conspiring on many occasions. So this El Dorado exploration, what is okay? It is it is one kind of exploration. কোম্পানির হয়ে যারা কাজ করতো তার বাইরে আরো কিছু মানুষ আছে, তারা কোম্পানির হয়ে কাজ করতো না। তারা কি করতো? তারা বিভিন্ন জায়গায়, যেমন আমরা লুট করি, বিভিন্ন জায়গায় তারা এক্সপিডিশন করে এই আইভরিগুলো সংগ্রহ করে, এবং আইভরিগুলো সংগ্রহ করে ইউরোপিয়ান কান্ট্রির কাছে পাঠাই দিত, এবং সে পাঠাই দেওয়ার মধ্যে দিয়ে তারা আবার সেখান থেকে পার্সেন্টেজ পাবে। এই যে 5 জন মানুষ হঠাৎ করে শুরু হলো, তার মানে শুধুমাত্র কলোনিয়াল যে কোম্পানির এজেন্টের মাধ্যমে যারা তারা আইভরি কালেক্ট করতে তা না, পাশাপাশি তারা কি করতো, এরকম অনেক মানুষই সেখানে গিয়েছিল। আরেকজন আমরা ড্রাঙ্কেন হোয়াইট ম্যান দেখলাম, সেও সেখানে গিয়েছে ভাগ্যের অন্বেষণে, আইভরি কালেক্ট করতে গিয়ে ল্যাবরেটরি, বাট হি হ্যাজ গট নট। And also we have seen the El Dorado expedition. That means these 5 men, they were also collecting ivory in a different way. So everything, every white man working in the station in central Congo, they are their motive is to accumulate wealth. Okay, and at times Marlowe would hear Carr's name. mentioned and became mildly curious, but he felt a strong desire to repair his steamboat and begin his job as a pilot. Okay, so that is the end of the first part. Okay, they are in the central station, and in this way they will be starting. One evening, Marlowe eavesdropped on the manager and his uncle as discussed Karch. Marlowe learned that Karch asked the company's administrator to send him to the jungle to show him how much ivory he could acquire, and that he sent his assistant back to manager because he found him inadequate for the work. Okay, so at that time Marlowe আড়ি পেতে শুনছে যে ম্যানেজার এবং কার্সের সঙ্গে ডিসকাস করছে কার্স নিয়ে। ওকে, ম্যানেজার চিন্তা করছে যে কার্স কি পরিমাণে আইভরি সংগ্রহ করলো। ওকে, there is also a competition between manager and Kars. He is the manager, but Kars is getting many ivory. Okay, so they had also the competition. Marlowe father learned that there was strange rumor circulating about Kars' behavior. Okay, here in the central station he had got the information that Marlowe is a gentleman. The manager insinuated that he hoped Kars would die in the jungle. Manager ভাবছে যে কার্স কি জঙ্গলে মারা যায় কেন? A few days later the El Dorado expedition entered the jungle. Okay, and what is the exploration? The El Dorado expedition was a group of white adventurers led by the general manager's uncle. They arrived to the central station to explore the Congo while likely taking more valuable materials with them, despite not being part of the company or the government in control of the religion. So these 5 men we have talked about, that these are the El Dorado expedition. They had no news except that all the donkeys were dead. His steamboat repaired, and Marlowe began his voyage to the United States accompanied by the manager, the other agents who Marlowe calls pilgrims, and the 20 natives. Pilgrims, in our previous class we have talked about pilgrims. Pilgrims, they are the white men, they are awaiting over there to get important job in the company. তারা অনেকজন মানুষ সেখানে বসে আছে, তারা কি তারা চিন্তা করছে যে কোম্পানি তাদের কোনো একটা জায়গায় কাজ দেবে এই পিলগ্রিমসের সঙ্গে। About 50 miles below the United Station, the steamboat came across Bata Reeds. Near the hut there were the remnants of the flag and the neatly shacked wood pile. Okay, যখন ইনার স্টেশন থেকে তারা কত দূরে 50 মাইল দূরে, তখন তারা দেখলো যে সেখানে একটা উড পাইল আছে and some reeds, and that means the indication that something had been doing over here, but no human being over there. Near the wood pile, written on a board were the words "Wood for you, hurry up, approach cautiously." Okay, there is a saying. Inside the hut, Marlowe found evidence of the white tenant and a rudely formed table and a heap of rubbish and a book about steammanship with some shot of the coat and written on the margins. Actually, he entered the hut. একটা ছোট কুটিরের মধ্যে সে ঢুকে গেল। কে? মারলো। সেখানে দেখলো যে কোনো মানুষজন নাই, একটা বই আছে, সেই বইটা কি স্টিমম্যানশিপ, কিভাবে নৌকা চালাতে হয় সমুদ্রে, সমস্ত কিছু। সেই বইটা সে মারলো, পকেটের মধ্যে নিয়ে দিল। Okay, so he got it, and then he moved forward. The natives took the wood, and the Marlowe slipped the book in his pocket. When they were a mile and a half below the United Station, আগে কত ছিল? 50 মাইল, এখন 1 মাইল, 1.5 মাইল দূরে। Unseen, silent natives who fired small arrows attacked on the steamboat. এখন 1.5 মাইল দূরে United Station, হঠাৎ lots of arrows came towards Marlowe and his, তার সাথে কারা আছে? পিলগ্রিমস আছে, আর কে আছে? কিছু নেটিভস আছে। সবার উপরে কি হলো? অ্যারো, মানে বর্ষা আসতে লাগলো। And the pilgrims fired their guns and into the bush, and while the attack continued, the helmsman soon being killed by the spear. এদের মধ্যে মারলোর দলের একজন যে হেল্পম্যান ইয়ে চালাচ্ছিল, সে তার কি হলো? একটা অ্যারো এসে লাগলো এবং সে মারা গেল। এখন তারা কোথায়? 1.5 mile away from the United Station. Finally, Marlowe reached the United Station, and he first saw a long decaying building, and with a number of posts around it. Each post was topped with a round carved ball. Okay, we have seen the picture earlier. Okay, so in that station, that building was decaying. After one হচ্ছে ধ্বংস হয়ে যাবে এরকম পুরনো বিল্ডিং, but that building was covered several posts. Post, that means the pillar. Okay, and on top of the pillar we see the carved ball. Okay, Marlowe discovered that the building was carved quarter and the balls were human heads. These are not the balls. So human were killed brutally and their head was cut and that was put on the pillar surrounding Marlowe's headquarters. Marlowe's office. Just what is that is creating terror. Okay, I have said that actually in case of violating কোনো যখন দাঙ্গা হয়, ডাউট হয়, এখানে অনেক মানুষ আছে, ঠিক আছে, একজন কি করে হঠাৎ করে কেউ একজনকে ধরে মারতে শুরু করে, একজনকে ধরে, এদিকে হচ্ছে 5,000 মানুষ আর এদিকে হচ্ছে সামান্য 50 জন হয়তো পুলিশ, ঠিক আছে, হঠাৎ করে কি করে একজনকে ধরে পুলিশ কি করে বা দাঙ্গা যারা দমন করে, পুলিশ হতে পারে তারা একজনকে তখন মারতে শুরু করে, যখন মারতে শুরু করে তখন কি করে এই 5,000 মানুষ কিন্তু তখন ভয়ে একজনের মার থেকে সবাই চলে যায়। Okay, guards did their things. Okay, 3 minutes. Guards did their things. Guards killed the natives and put the head on top of the pillars just to intimidate the native. And this is the way guards become the demigod in this area. By intimidating, তাদেরকে ভয় দেখিয়ে, তাদেরকে মেরে, তাদের cruelty সবকিছু দিয়ে he became the. And the Harlequin then explained the natives attacked Marlowe's steamboat, and because the cars anyone take away from them, and Harlequin and Marlowe had they spent many nights listening to cars speak about the various subjects. Marlowe father learned that Cars was prone and wandering to the jungle, and Marlowe already earned that actually from the Harlequin, another character, and he said that Cars want to stay here. Why? That means he want to accommodate so many wealth. And for this reason, suddenly Marlowe noticed that Cars is coming over there. কিভাবে কিছু নেটিভ তাদেরকে স্ট্রেচারে করে মার্লোকে কার্জের সামনে নিয়ে আসলো। এই প্রথম কি পেল? কার্জের দেখা পেল কে? মার্লো। Fearing on attack, Marlowe, the Harlequin and everyone steamboat still until Marlowe saw Cars emaciated arms arranged with stretcher and ordered his army leave. The manager and the other agent laid on the Cars and his bed and delivered his belated piece of mail. Okay, so Marlowe left Cars' room and saw on the bank of the river Cars' African mistress, who captivated Marlowe with his pride, stature, and appearance. So Marlowe didn't talk with the Cars; he also talked with his African mistress. She boarded on the steamboat of a minute without speaking, lifted his arms, and then vanished in the bush. Marlowe then heard Cars speaking seriously, the manager in the inside the room, trying to appear unplanned. And the manager. So at that time, Marlowe talked with Cars and his wife, and Cars is not ready to leave the station. Still, Cars is taking him away, and in that way, he said here, Cars said to Marlowe, "I had an immense plan, and they are ruined by the manager." So Cars said that I had an immense plan of doing in this station, but for the inverse activities of the manager, I am taking away. Okay, so that is Marlowe. So Marlowe was taken away, and on board approximately 1,000 followers, his mistress attacked it on Cars' boat on which Cars was taken away, and they were finally, and the man they killed on one evening after repairing the engine. Marlowe entered Cars' room and heard his whisper the final words. So when they were taking away, the final word Cars pronounced, the final word before his death, the final word Cars produced, that is the two word, that is the horror and horror, and he died. And after that, Marlowe went back to London, and he informed his fiancée that the Cars said the last word, that is his name. Okay, so in such a way the novel ends and the story. And on board the Nelly, so the story ends. On board the Nelly, the announcer, an anonymous narrator, and the other man sit motionless. The narrator took at this dark clouds and the overcast sky and Thames, which he now see the flowing into the heart of immense darkness. Okay.